Good morning, Hickory Sunrise.
Good morning. Please join with me in honoring our country. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll offer the prayer this morning. God, Father in heaven, we thank you for thy care and keeping through the night and for this day. Lord, help us to live as your children today and honor you in all that we do.
Yes.
Help us to live our Rotary motto of service above self. In your Son's name, amen.
Amen.
Please be seated, Mr. Honeycutt.
Yes. Good morning, Rotarians.
That's the rich one.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Honeycutt. Good morning. Juan Leach.
Yes,
He's
sir.
back. All right. I need $1 on the table. $1.
And for?
The security has gone to hell. All right. We need $1. Your absence.
The squirrel's getting in the building.
That's called Gavin is Gavin is still out running squirrels around the building all this weekend. I keep up.
Well, I want to say I appreciate Lenny saved my seat.
Okay.
This is now the run section.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, we're glad to see you this morning. All right, now, first thing we have, Jake, our Rotarian dollar.
Yeah, we got the
If you're
dollar.
not paid for this, you got $1 this morning, so keep that in mind. Steve Hunt, it's sort of a badge check this morning. Everybody has a badge. Steve, your badge, you're not showing it.
What's your badge on? Show him.
You know, while Steve is digging, can't do it, doesn't count. You don't have to know, it's hidden. He slipped out last week without his badge. I caught that. One other thing about Steve.
I'll tell you a couple things.
I said $1 more. I have met with his daughter-in-law, and I've been accumulating all kinds of information about Steve Hunt. And we've had a little discussion. Now, I'm not going to bring anything up at this time, but if you want to pay $1 additional, that will ensure that we'll keep it under the table.
That's called touch.
Blackman. But what if I gave 5 and we could keep it on the table?
Anyway, keep that in mind. All right, now, here's another one. We had $5 paid this morning, Bob Steiger, missing any fines that he accumulated while he was absent. So I thought that was very appropriate, and one thing you have not paid, and this was fines. You read the Hickory paper, and Richard had a nice letter in Hickory paper. Everybody had to put $1 in. Service above self. Even though you were absent, we need to put $1 in the budget for that. Okay, good. All right, last week, Joe Westfall did a nice job identifying something in his Rotary magazine. And it tied in what I really thought I could tie in together. Well, Steiger has missed this, and Ron has missed it. We have discussed the last 2 weeks a method to raise money in our club. Now, some people have frowned on it. Gavin back there has been very positive, and I sent an email out to this gentleman right here, June the 19th, asked for his feedback. Got nothing. They heard not a word. Glenn didn't do either. He had to pay a fine. Richard responded. Now, we discussed.
Excuse me, I bypassed you and went to the president.
No, well, he
I
doesn't know
was the
anything
first
about
one to respond, and I said,
okay.
let's get drunk.
All right. Last 2 weeks, and you've been absent, we have discussed the fundraiser. And Regina's given me some personal information about it, and some others. All right. As you know, and the club would agree, you are pretty much an outgoing person, a good salesperson, and I'm impressed with that. And you've done our dances, and you've promoted them, and it's gone over so well. We have discussed a possible fundraiser in our club, and the club has been somewhat reluctant, but knowing your skills, we want you to take the lead. And the lead,
We want to model it.
this is an effort. This is an effort.
So,
This is, we want you to take, you have to do a trial run. Okay, this, we know about the squirrels in Hickory are, you know, having issues, not fully clothed and all of it. And we thought as a club, we could pick this up and run with it because in Scotland, it's very popular. It's come from Scotland here.
Sure.
And we are interested in pursuing, at least with a pilot. And we would like to present you this.
yes, I'd be glad to do it. I'm gonna stop at your house first.
I'll bring this, I've got covered my house. Now, at the shop, people are coming in, bringing into the car, so you could actually promote this for the club.
That's right.
I'd like to present this to you.
Thank you.
And let you take the lead and give us a report next week.
You'll get a report.
I know you present you the squirrely underwear. Okay, you're covered. All right, it's all yours.
Yeah, I can't follow that, let's leave. Thank you, Wayne, appreciate it. Mr. Trick has today's program, and I kind of blindsided him, I think. He was preparing for next week, but we have another program next week, so Mr. Trick, if you'd like to
Certainly.
add to the program, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm going to include as part of the program our visit to
Yes, yes.
where the monument is.
Perfect.
Oh, excuse me, we're having to, oh, gee, I forgot to check the marker. No marker? Oh, yeah. You were, you just, the marker.
Here, Phil, I'll get it.
So, your club is actively involved in the celebration of the Niracle of Hickory. Right there. Now, this ought to do just fine for those of you who have been around Hickory. There are no street names or other ways of identifying these roads other than Arby's, Biker Bar, Water Plant.
Go back to the biker bar.
It's the oldest bar in Hickory.
Okay, yes.
Where the slide used to be,
Yeah.
and Armory.
And the
Ballpark?
drum club.
And the drum club. I like it.
Rick Klein's drummers.
John, yeah, is that the real name of the biker bar?
I think John's package store. Yeah, that's landmark in Hickory.
So, and we're going to tie this in. This is going to be very interesting. You're going to see how I'm going to. You may be thinking, how are you going to tie this into a program? Well, you're about to find out. About to find out. Who remembers the commercial? You're about to find out, by the way. That thing got a Hemi in it,
Ah,
right?
John Reed.
John Reed, who's a local Hickory fellow, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. So, to get serious for a moment, because this is only a little bit of seriousness, the rest of it's all silliness this morning. Right here, where the music factory is an old building. And that old building, that old brick building, was part of the hospital for the Niracle of Hickory. They added on to that with a wooden structure that was built in less than 48 hours. 40 hours sticks in my mind, but it was less than 2 days anyway. They built a huge facility to handle all of the children who came in 75 years ago. In the summer, there was a huge outbreak of polio in our vicinity, and there were so many patients that it overwhelmed Charlotte, Asheville, Winston-Salem, all the surrounding hospitals, and all that had to happen. So, you may or may not remember that near where the cannon used to be was an obelisk downtown on Union Square, which is now safely stored, along with the Ark of the Covenant, in places where top people are working on it. The obelisk
Top
is
people.
Top people, that's right. That's going to be moved here. I thought about taking pictures. We went over there to visit the site, Rick and I,
And
last week.
Walter.
And Walter, thank you. Went to look at the site, and I thought about bringing pictures, but it's so gnarly. I didn't really want to show, because they promised us it's going to get fixed up before all this happens. What's going on is that building is like this. The armory is, their facility, their grounds are all over here with the big building and a big parking lot here. This whole area down in here is a park area now with some playground equipment. And we discussed whether we should be thinking about moving the monument here or here. And then, there's a small driveway and a small parking area right through here. And we decided that actually this would be an ideal location because people will be coming in. There's still up in the air just how this parking area or access is going to work. But people will be coming in this way to come into this park area. The park area will be renamed, right? Hickory, Miracle of Hickory
Park.
Miracle Hickory Park. And so this is going to be the location. There was a lot of brainstorming that happened, a lot of planning happened in about 15 minutes while we were there, yes?
To the left of the armory is the start of Riverwalk also.
Yeah, and we talked about Riverwalk, and the actual main drag, so to speak, of Riverwalk is going to be going down, at this point, down closer to the river, because of course, in my zoomed in view here, 321 is, yeah. I always have trouble getting the direction straight, but anyway.
Arby's is on 321.
Yeah, I know that. I was trying to decide if I needed to draw the angle this way or this way. That's why I'm an electrical
But
engineer.
you have it
not
on your map.
mechanical engineer.
Yeah, but that's an inset that he's working on right now.
Yeah, I know.
On
Anyway.
that big map.
Anyway, the greenway comes up here, and that's going to continue to be like a spur off of the actual Riverwalk, they told us. I thought the Riverwalk itself was coming by here, but no, it's coming down more in this area with the greenway being a spur off of it. So, right here is where the monument's going to be. There's an entrance right now with a nasty ramp that they're going to redo. There's a nasty old dumpster that's going to get moved, and this parking lot's going to get done. So, here we are. We thought, boy, it'd be great this summer, we had thought. This summer would be a great time to do this, but, well, summer's almost gone, so it's really not going to happen this summer. So our next best shot, and the one that makes most sense for Rotary, is November, because November is the emphasis on polio eradication for Rotary International. So in November, what's being planned right now is a ceremony to go on here. We won't be complete, but it'll be, as they suggested calling it, a reveal ceremony.
Groundbreaking, too.
And groundbreaking, where there will be now an official ceremony advertised to the press and local officials, where there'll be drawing of the completed thing. To get even a little bit even closer now, here's that building. The idea now is to put the obelisk here with a surrounding area to take care of the 4 plaques that have been in the base of the obelisk that explain the city of Hickory, or the Miracle of Hickory, that people have never taken it. I didn't even know they were there, and I'd been looking at the monument, but apparently they were down here someplace. So the plan is to get those up in a way where that can be seen. So November there'll be a groundbreaking reveal of the whole program, all of that sort of stuff. Our club will be featured prominently in that. As you know, there's also talk of a mural that is going to go someplace downtown. And currently the thought is, help me again?
It will be on Lindy's, the sidewall of Lindy's Furniture.
And other Rotary clubs in our area are helping to take the lead on that. We're going to be the lead group that's going to be involved in this. We'll be there with as many of us as can make it. And at a date to be announced, but it will be in November. And we're gonna get a good splash. Our responsibility in the future is gonna be to maintain this area. Flowers, shrubs, clean up, beautify, all that sort of stuff right in this area.
Yeah, and my understanding, what he was saying, those plaques that are already there, there'll be another one added with our name on it.
Right.
He asked about the other clubs in the mural. I said, he asked about the mural.
Right.
And I said, the other clubs got that, this is ours. And so it was real clear, he understands that this is ours, it's not Rotary Clubs of Hickory, and like that, or Catawba County. Hickory Sunrise is gonna have that.
Are we gonna put that obelisk on an elevated stand so we can see those?
It'll be tiered,
And
then up.
I think the current plan, excuse me, is to take those plaques off of the base and
Yeah, okay.
kind of put them around,
Okay.
you know, more to where you can look at them rather than having to down so close to the ground like you're working at.
Also, let's think about involving Rotaract as we talk about maintaining.
Sure, yeah.
Let's
Definitely invite them to participate, sure.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, invite them to participate, sure, on the groundbreaking ceremony.
Yeah.
Where that dot is, that corner of the building behind it is part of the original hospital.
Oh, yeah, yeah, you can see on this face of the building, if you look at it, you can see where stuff had been attached to the building.
Wow.
And it's almost a perfect spot for it.
Oh, yeah.
Does anything make that clear with the existing plaques that are there, or should we provide some more information so people can actually realize that they're looking at the
Might need to
building?
do just that, because there's absolutely nothing up there to indicate for anybody walking by that that's part of the original building. We didn't know it
That's a good
until
idea.
Warren told us.
That's right.
We should, Alan Finley's club's part of this also on the mural.
Oh, no. Yeah, the other two clubs.
Okay.
The three Hickory clubs,
We
basically.
should engage with them to create a photo documentation of all this workup. Not only just what ends up, but the people and the stuff that goes into making it happen should be photo documented so that we can put it out with Rotary International in November.
Well, yeah, I like the idea. I like the idea of Alan doing it.
Well, I was just thinking, because he
I
had,
don't want to involve another club in it,
okay.
okay? This has been, and to Cliff Moon's credit, every time we have a meeting, he talks about Hickory Sunrise's idea to have something on the site itself. And I want to keep it us.
Okay.
But that's a great idea to document the progress and stuff. We can do that.
Did you take a photograph of you three when you were there?
I did, and I forgot to say, I didn't send an update out last week, and I apologize, but I do have a couple of pictures on my phone of that very site, and I'll send them out today.
Well, I'm thinking more for the future.
Yeah, and that's a good idea.
Process.
And I
I've got a
take
photo
pictures.
set we can start accumulating on.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
hold 30,000 pictures.
that's great.
Rick, I think,
Donald,
it would be a project for our chief wordsmith over there, and maybe it'd be better to do it, using a photograph from the dedication rather than maybe beforehand. But I think this is something that, Rotarians would use and include what we're being done and the story of the Miracle of Hickory. I believe Rotarian would run that.
and you talk about the RI magazine, right, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, it would be powerful
Well,
story.
if we put it up for Rotary to publish internationally, electronically, they would also pick it up in Rotarian and publish it in print. And there's, just as an aside, there's another thing that not many people realize anymore, that epidemic hit here gave the fundamental epidemiologists the information to find out what the cause of polio was. Because of the Catawba River bringing crap down, literally bringing crap down, and infecting all the people along the river. That's how they identified the virus that caused polio.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's good.
When we talk about Rotary, the magazine, Rotary magazine,
Yeah,
should I maybe I'm sure that inside the magazine, there's a, contact.
Oh, there is an
editorial.
editor's list, an extensive editor's list.
Maybe I can contact them now and say that this is something that's coming, so.
They'll give you a contact person. That'll be point on there.
Donald?
Yes, sir. Is there something on the river wall that would direct people to where the outlet is going to
There
be?
isn't
Since it's
yet.
not directly on the
There
wall.
isn't yet, and what we did talk about was the mural itself that's gonna go downtown, having some wording there directing folks to our site. The people downtown will look at the mural, there'll be a little write-up about the Niracle of Hickory, and then wording directing folks for more information, go out to the site kind of thing. As far as on the Riverwalk, don't know yet, but Warren was very amenable, right? Walter, I mean, everything we talked about, he was all for, wanted to do anything that he could to help us, and they really want to play that park up now. I'm not saying that, I'm just going to say this wrong, but they want to play it up because they did not want the mural on the wine shop wall, and a lot of the rhetoric at that time was the mural ought to go out to the site. So they kept talking about the site. Now they're going to name that park Niracle of Hickory, so this is almost natural to add things to the river walk to highlight the site. I think they'd be real open to that.
One thing too, they've already planned a pavilion in some form for 250 people along the edge of the park. It's at the J.C. Park, and they're going to take some of the J.C. Park and add it to this park.
And I thought that was the city was doing that, but he told us the music factory's doing that. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's right. I
There'll
forgot.
be a little amphitheater there,
Right.
or a theater kind of thing.
Close to this.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I
On
started
the
racing,
park.
but yeah, where the building is in this park area, that amphitheater's gonna be down in this direction. Yep, so there'll be traffic going right by here, foot traffic and or car traffic.
yeah, they're taking a lot of trees out of the way, they're gonna make it, because that greenway, is that what you call it?
Yeah, the Greenway coming up from Wagner Park.
People bike and
Right.
jog and walk on that, and there were people coming right by.
Yeah,
And that's almost a natural place for traffic, anyway.
right.
It will get seen.
Will there be anything other than just the actual being able to see it? Will there be any kind of anything bit more informative, like some of the information Bob just gave us in digital audio form there that can?
Right now, the discussion for that part, among all three clubs, is having a kiosk, an interactive kiosk at that site. Where it's gonna go, I don't know yet.
One thing, they said that that building was in tremendous shape. They said that the roof trusses were better than you could find anywhere around now. There was some real craftsmanship. And it might be an idea that we can put something in that building.
That's a possibility.
That's a good thought.
Yeah.
Well, it's behind it, but it's attached to it, but it's not wholly part of it.
Okay, so there is, yeah, that would be the idea.
Yeah.
One thing you could also do is have like a QR scan or something. Everybody's got their smartphone, and you just do that, and then you hear.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
You hear the whole history of the place, or see an audio visual.
Yeah.
A lot of, or
We've
some.
got that system at the Salt Center.
Yeah, a lot of places have got that now, and I don't think it.
Along all those ideas, Phil, Lynn, Walter, and I are the polio committee, so to speak. Any thoughts you have, just keep sharing with all of us. And, but right now, looking toward the fall to have a nice ceremony out there.
Yep, yeah, it's looking really good. All right, so, we talked last week or two about what we might do for sunshine in our club. And as I was thinking about how I was going to talk about this over the week, I realized that nobody has any idea what the heck road this is, I'm sure. I was going to look it up. This road right across here.
That was 12th something.
It was 12.
Yeah,
12th Street
but
Drive.
GPS
12th Street Drive.
funds was
Circle
that
Drive.
Road.
Circle Place Drive.
12th Street Drive.
So here's our first question. Well, first of all, I have to tell you a story, because Trick always has a story. And then that'll hopefully will spur our discussion here. We moved here from Miami, Florida. I'm a Navy brat, so I've seen the world, compliments of the United States Navy, lived in a variety of places. The most far flung was Rota, Spain. I was there for a year while Dad was stationed there. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah. Everybody's been on a med cruise, been to Rota. Anyway, we moved here, had been here maybe a week or so. My wife and I, our 5-year-old daughter and our not quite 1-year-old daughter went to this grocery store, which until I had seen it but only heard about it, thought was Food Line. well, it is Food Line, but it's Food Lion, right? Food Line. So we were at Food Line and checking out. This is in the old days of right? The fellow running the register and the young lady, probably high school student, bagging. I don't hear all that well compliments of having flown airplanes and driven airboats in South Florida. So the young lady, and I hadn't yet gotten attuned to the local dialect very well, said something to me. I had no idea what she said, but I knew it ended in the sound E, and she was looking and smiling at me. Our daughter has these big, huge, dark brown eyes, and was always getting compliments about being so cute. So I figured she said, what a cute baby. It was about the right length of a sentence. Those of you who have hearing problems know how you do this sort of thing. And so I just kind of smiled and nodded. You know, I had the checkbook out. This is in the old days of writing a check. I had just started working on that. The guy running the register stops and he says to me, excuse me, sir, shave your boogie. What's going on? I said, I'm sorry. And he repeats to me, he says, could you have your boogie? Phil, I hear. My wife's face is this color. She's so terribly embarrassed to be seen in public with this idiot who doesn't understand English. She says, take Karen out of the car and push it through so she can put the groceries in. Oh, okay. So I finished writing up the check. As we started out, I said, what did you say? And she said, can she have your buggy? I said, what? Shh, be quiet. I'll tell you when we get outside. Still embarrassed. All right, so what's going on? He said, excuse me, sir, can she have your buggy? I said, what's a buggy? He said, this is a buggy. She said, this is a cart. And I pointed to the sign in the parking lot, not responsible for damage caused by shopping carts. Shh, be quiet, get in the car. So, the question for you, for those of you who have grown up here, we'll get to, if we have time, we'll get to some of these idioms. But the first question is, Hickory landmarks used for navigation no longer here.
I goes grocery.
Wait a minute. Okay, what grocery?
I goes grocery.
Hut.
I goes.
Holy moly, I've never heard it. I've been here 30 years. How do you spell this?
You go down 127, you know where the Verizon kiosk store is? That used to be Hutto's Grocery.
Spell that for me, please.
Hutto, I guess there's an apostrophe S.
Sign key for ski.
It's been torn down, what, 25 years maybe?
Yeah. Kivers, because Kivers is still
That's
there.
why you tell people,
This is no longer here. Okay, that's a good one.
Miller's Curb Market.
Miller's Curb Market. Holy moly. I'm getting an education. I've been here 30 years. Where was that, Steve?
On Highland Avenue, right across from Shuford Mills.
Okay, I know where we are. Yeah, not too far from the Hall of Cream. Circus Hall of Cream is in that area.
No.
Atlantic House and Coal.
What is,
There's an old-fashioned hot dog, a hamburger place there.
Yeah, and
Got Green's grocery.
Wait a minute, we're in some kind of coal. What?
Atlantic House and Coal, yeah.
Where was that?
That's on
Highland Avenue.
Highland.
Yeah.
Highland, I'm
You can go there
sorry.
to get coal.
Right near Hudson Furniture that's no longer there.
oh.
The old snack bar.
Yep.
Oh, the old snack bar.
Old snack.
On 321.
Yeah.
Highland Barbecue.
Man,
Tim Gilbert's store.
Mhm.
And the old oak tree.
You newcomers are just a mess.
Jim Kilby's store.
I'm sorry, what?
Jim Kilby's store. I used to always
Kilby's
get
store,
directions.
now I know where Kilby's
I used
was.
to always get directions about where Jim Kilby's store used to be.
Dan Green's dad's
That's just
store.
in town, they didn't want no.
Green's-
I'm looking for
Dan Green's dad's store, Green's Grocery.
Green's Produce or something, I think.
Something like that, what it was.
Green's Produce, I think.
Okay.
So this happened, I got involved in this the second or third day we were here, we needed to go to the post office. Other cities that I've lived in that have numbered streets,
Oh, boy.
Oh,
the streets,
oh, yeah,
go like this.
yeah,
Agreed.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you may or may not know that in Hickory,
Hmm.
4th Street and 3rd Street intersect.
Then becomes 7th Street.
They spawned a street called 7th Street Drive Avenue. Right. So, this happened to be the way that we needed to go to get to the post office. And the directions I got were, hey, you go along 6470 to where there's this building with a kind of a crinkly looking top to it. And turn left there, that would be the old Chamber of Commerce building. You turn left, you go up that street a little bit, I don't know what's there now, but it's where the Pontiac dealer used to be. And then you take that road that kind of goes off to the right and follow it on around. So that was our first introduction to what used to be. I love I don't know what's there now, but this is what used to be. So it was Bumgarner's? Pontiac?
Is that going off toward the, police?
Yes, remember that Bumgarner's?
Yeah.
Is there still a Rose's?
Yeah, the Roses is still there.
I heard something years ago, go where Rose's used to be.
Well, Rose,
Where Kroger's used to be.
What about,
That's the one around 27th.
that's what Rose is now. Where
That's right, that's in Dunbar.
No.
oh, you are.
Wow.
About Martin Radio and TV?
Oh.
Yeah, gravel.
How about where A&W Root Beer used to be?
Right across from the fire department.
Martin Radio and TV.
It's interesting that none of you have mentioned another one that's been used for me. I'm thinking of one on Highway 70,
Oh, Sky City.
Sky City.
Sky City.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was jumping at one time.
Sky, and that building, I guess, still exists, right?
Yeah, so,
Car repair and
yeah,
antique
auto
and
malls,
stuff, right?
yeah.
So, we have this interesting grid system that almost makes sense in Hickory. It's close enough.
Streets run north and south, avenues run
Right, east and west, that's right.
And the tracks separate north and south.
That was up until about 1930 or 40.
That's right.
That's up until about 1930 or 40 when they started building subdivisions.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And what are we gonna do between 3rd Street and 4th Street? Well, there'll be 3rd Street Court and something or other.
Well, if you're lucky.
Circle.
But then you have this problem where two things that are sort of parallel actually intersect. Where 3rd and 4th come together, yeah. So, of course, we have a play and a song, The Streets of Hickory. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to see it. Hickory Community Theater, every now and then dusts it off. It's a wonderful play. If you ever see it running, or if you get a chance to hear the song, we do a great job of making fun of ourselves with our goofy system. All right, so now the next part of the sunshine is to name streets that aren't.
Geithner.
That's right. What is the real name of Geithner?
12th Avenue.
Is it street or avenue? Let's
12th
get it
Avenue
straight.
Northwest.
Yeah.
12th Avenue.
Springs Road.
Yeah, it's a spring road.
Actually,
Is it called, actually, I thought it was a street.
yeah, no, you can see signs. This would be where you can never find a sign that says,
Sandy Ridge.
Sandy Ridge.
Sandy Ridge, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't find one that says that.
yeah, it's really
Intersection.
part of 16th, right? 16th Street. Highland Avenue is where we are.
Yeah.
Family Walmart.
There's another one.
Comes.
Well, it's in center.
They actually call it Springs Road.
Second
Yeah.
Street.
Spring Road.
Be kind to the presenter, please.
I
another-
never have figured out
There's-
why they decided to name 127 3 different names.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and not only that, but much of the time, if you're on a street that intersects it, like if you were coming on 16th Avenue from the church there, the two churches.
So you're going back to what you
Yeah.
told me, where the church is.
That's right. That's where the pumpkins are.
Yeah.
The pumpkins are every fall, right? When you come up to the intersection, I don't think there's anything that tells you this is 127 as you're sitting at the light. It'll tell you it's
The second.
centers, or is it second at that point?
It changes right there.
Yeah.
So-
It changes from Second Street to North Center
North
Street.
Center Street, yeah. So we have people say, well, now you need to get on 127. It's hardly marked as 127 anywhere if you look around. But anyway, there's another street that doesn't exist that I'm thinking of. Starts with an S. At least I think it doesn't exist. I hope it doesn't. How about Sweetwater Road?
I think there's a sign that might say that.
Yeah.
I've never found a sign.
That's 21st Avenue,
It used to
21st
be.
Street.
Is it 21st?
22nd Street.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, we're not sure what the real name is.
building is.
Okay, if I have a new customer call or anything, and I ask, your address, they'll give me the address, and I say, swear, what do you near? What do you near? What landmark?
You
are
can call FedEx and UPS, and before you finish describing, you live in Hickory.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely, absolutely.
we're world famous.
I worked for 5 years at the Chamber of Commerce, and I was in the part of the building that's just off of the lobby. I did a lot of computer training in there, and Sprint in those days had provided us with computers and stuff. So I was in that area a lot. And I would hear people out in the lobby, because my door was open right off the lobby, and/or phone calls. And constantly, it would be probably half of what we did with the Visitor Information Center was get people unlost or tell them how to get to stuff. And it would be all of this kind of stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Nancy, who was one of our veterans out there, would be telling people, but she would usually use real landmarks. But the great thing was to hear a phone call. Yeah, Chamber Comes, yeah, yes, I can help you get there, yeah. Tell me what you see right now.
Yes.
I've done that.
What do you see? It wasn't, what street are you on, or what do you see?
Well, you know your address tells you what the cross street is.
Yes, that's right.
Supposedly.
Phil, an interesting intersection is coming out of town on Lenoir Boulevard, and you get to 21st, the intersection of 21st, traffic light there, you come up the hill, the 21st is to the left, and I think Sandy Ridge,
Oh, yeah.
you run into Sandy Ridge, and anyway, there's either 3 or 4 different names of streets at that intersection. It all changes right there.
Yeah, there's another intersection where that sort of thing happens. And by the way, how about the intersection right where El Sombrero used to be?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
What kind of a goofy intersection is that thing where the well, it's right near us, of course, the LR campus is here, right? And here's LR coming down this way. Here's the street that goes by the railroad tracks, right? And you
Main Avenue.
Yep, and I don't know, and there's a place here that used to be a billiards place. I don't know what's there now.
It's a workout, some kind of fitness place.
That's a real crazy intersection there, trying to get somebody through there. And some of it's one way. Oh, by the way, when I worked at the Chamber of Commerce, it must have been about 2000, 2 of the one-way streets became 2-way streets in Hickory. And you would think that we had done something like never fly the American flag again or something. I mean, people were up, they were calling the chamber, wanting the chamber to stop this because we were going to convert one-way streets to 2-way streets.
They worked more wrecks when they did that than you can shake a stick at.
I'll bet.
Yeah. People just barely.
On the wrong side of the road.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Anything else you all want to share with me about craziness about getting around Hickory?
Well, they haven't stopped doing that.
because McDonald's Parkway, which is a new parkway, used to be 29th Avenue. Coming from, it was right past where you still, Steve.
Well, it stopped though.
No,
Most of McDonald's
If
brand
you
new.
stay on it,
McDonald never,
where did it end?
McDonald didn't exist.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Where did it end right now?
It ended at Springs Road.
Right, but
Yeah.
when you cross Springs, Springs
When you cross Springs Road.
Walgreens way on.
You in the woods.
No,
that's a joke. Jones
It's
Fish
a
Camp.
the Walgreens before they built McDonald
That's right. There's one.
But, okay, but I'm saying, but rather than calling it McDonald's Boulevard, why didn't they just keep calling it the continuation of, I think, 29th?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's weird.
So when the name is after somebody.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or what they should have done was 4-lane 29th and called it, kept going with Billy McDonald.
Yeah.
All the way to,
All right, Bob has a question.
Okay.
when I first got to Hickory, my daughter and I were house hunting, and I bought a city map.
Oh, yeah.
And I came off Highland, and you know it goes one way till it hits the street that cuts up to LR. And the map didn't show that, and I went around and around and around, and finally I got so PO'd, I turned around and drove over the hill to a stoplight, and realized I'm going the wrong way on a one-way street, and there's a cop saying, "Whoop, whoop, whoop," and I pulled right off the side of the road, and I said, "Sir, what can you do to help me besides write me a ticket?" He said, "What are you trying to do?" And I showed him, he said, "Oh, hell, that map's no good." He said, "Here."
Well, but when I first moved here, everything was strange. But one thing that was familiar was your Food Lion.
Yes.
Because the logo struck me as eerily familiar. And I had actually moved here from Belgium, and I said, that's the same logo. And the supermarket we went to there was called Deleuze, Le Lion, the lion.
Really?
The same logo, exact same logo. And only a little while later I found out that they owned Food Lion. And had set it up with the same logo and everything. So it felt eerily familiar. Everything else was strange except for Food Lion.
Fish Camp was, I told you the buggy story. Fish Camp was another fun story. I worked in the booming metropolis of Valdez for Duracell and then Saft at the battery plant there. Again, I'd been here a week or two and got invited to go out to dinner on a Friday night with some of the folks from the plant. So I called up my wife and said, "Hey, I got an invite to go to dinner tonight with some of the folks from the plant, or maybe tonight or tomorrow night, whatever." She said, "Oh, great, where?" I said, "We're going to Foothills Fish Camp." And she went, "Fish camp?" I went, "Yeah, well, where I've been from before, a fish camp was where you bought worms and rented a boat. Now we're going to go to some place where they rent boats, and I'm thinking like it's going to be like a little grill, and no, of course, come to find out that around here,
Oh, yeah.
you're not from around here, are you?"
no,
So-
you ain't from around here, Fisher.
That's right. Working at the plant one day, I was talking to Kenny, and he says, "Yeah, my wife and I were riding down 6470, and this fellow he just bowed up right in front of us." I said, "Kenny, what? He bowed up!"
That makes sense.
I said, "Kenny, what is this boat? You don't know what bowed up is? You all know what bowed up is?" Yeah, stop suddenly. Yeah. Another fellow was telling me a story about, I went fishing, I went down by the pear house. Pear house. Well, South Florida, we had packing houses for the tropical fruits. They were lime house and avocado houses, they were called, but they were large facilities. So I'm figuring there's some place at a grove that packs pears. This is an interesting thing about our English language, by the way. That's how you spell pear. Oh, or maybe you spell pear like this. I don't know.
Or A-R-E.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. Or it could be pear. Yes, what a wonderful. I'm sorry for anybody that has to learn this. But anyway, found out, of course, he was talking about the powerhouse. I had never heard of a generating facility called a powerhouse.
How long was it before you heard of Yonder?
Well, I knew Yonder. I already knew Yonder. I lived in Virginia. Some of the stuff I knew, but some of it...
Phil, how about JPPT?
Yeah, Yontu. Yeah, Yontu.
When I first heard that.
G.
Yeah. And I'm born and raised here.
Phil,
My daughter probably 5 years old, and my mother told her to go down over yonder and get something. And Kennedy come over, and she said, "Daddy, where is Yonder?"
Is it down near Newton someplace?
What about finna do?
Oh, my goodness, what?
What's he finna do?
Whoa, here's one that does oftentimes stump locals, and I've never seen it written, so this is what it sounds like. Skifflin. I asked for, Virginia was a nice lady that I worked with. It was our first winter here, and it might snow that evening. So I said, "What do you think, Virginia? Are we going to get snow?" "Yes, sir. Wrap it up." "We're going to get snow?" She said, "Well, I'm not sure. It might come a skifflin, but I don't think much snow." Might come a skifflin.
I hadn't heard that one.
It apparently is a localism for a light dusting of snow, where you might have a skifflin.
She's not from around here.
All right.
My wife uses the word peckish a lot, and I did not know what that meant.
Peckish.
We use that in Scotland.
Really? And what's it mean in Scotland?
It means slightly hungry.
Yeah, that's exactly how she uses it. Well, she's Scotch-Irish, so I know.
Huh.
Yeah. But you moved to an area, Phil,
Yes.
where it's southern, but you can understand most people. I moved to Wilkes County from New York.
They had really had a hard time understanding you.
Oh, but my wife tells the story when she was teaching the story of the gift of the Magi, and then talk about the Magi from the Bible. And one of her students said that he knew what the Magi's occupation was. And you may have heard this, right? And he tells her they were firemen. She says, "Well, how do you know that?" He says, "Well, it says in the Bible it came from afar."
Of the things we think, say, or do,
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?